On January 23, 2024 at dawn, a 7.1 magnitude earthquake occurred in Aksu Prefecture, Xinjiang. The population in the epicenter area is dispersed. The lowest temperature can reach minus 14 degrees Celsius. The rescue is extremely difficult. And just a month ago, on December 18th, a 6.2 magnitude earthquake occurred in Jishishan County, Gansu. 117 people were killed in Gansu and 31 people were killed in Qinghai. Houses, roads, and power facilities were damaged. No one thought 2003 would end like this and 2024 would start like this. Disasters are happening all over the world at the same time. In just 1 month of December last year, at least 12 earthquakes above magnitude 6 occurred globally. On the first day of 2024, a 7.6 magnitude earthquake occurred in Ishikawa Prefecture, Noto Peninsula, Japan. The ground was cracked. Houses collapsed. Tsunamis rushed in. It caused 201 deaths, 24 missing, and over 1,100 injured. The Geospatial Information Authority of Japan discovered that the land along the west coast was distorted by the earthquake. For example, the observation point near the epicenter Ryazan City moved 1.3 meters west. Yuki City moved about 1 meter west. Suzu City moved about 0.8 meters west. Nanao City moved about 0 meters northwest. On the same day, a large smoke plume from the Sakurajima volcano in southern Kagoshima, Japan, rose to 1,600 meters high. It erupted again 2 weeks later. It could be hit by rock fragments within 2 km at any time. On January 3rd, a 5.5 magnitude earthquake occurred in Argentina. On the 4th, a 5.7 magnitude earthquake occurred in Fiji. On the 12th, the World Meteorological Organization and NASA officially confirmed that 2023 was the hottest year on record. The average global temperature was 1.5 degrees C higher than before industrialization. More ominously, in the first half of 2023, the cooling La Niña event still hung over the Earth. It was not until the second half of the year that it switched to the warming El Niño event. This means 2024 may be the hottest year again, and temperature rise will continue to intensify natural disasters. According to existing reports, the United Nations estimates that a temperature rise of 1.5 DGC will cause 2 months of drought, increase wildfires by 41%, and sea level rise will displace 408.04 million people. On January 17th, Nature published that the Greenland ice sheet has been accelerating its melting. Now it has shrunk by the size of Shanghai compared to 1985, which is enough to affect global circulation and global heat distribution, further exacerbating climate change. In the face of this situation, there has been an undercurrent on the internet recently, saying that a major disaster is coming. Indeed, there have been quite a number of earthquakes and volcanoes recently. Unforeseeable natural disasters have been trending and have not stopped. It seems like the movie 2012 was shot too early. The day after tomorrow should be changed to today, because coupled with the recently frequent natural disasters, it is the classic shabby background of the end of the world, and the solar cycle with very large sunspots that is about to arrive. Many people believe that solar anomalies will lead to land collapse on Earth, atmospheric imbalance, and such arguments spread wildly on the network a few years ago, and even exploded again a few months ago. So is a major disaster really coming? In today's video, I will give you a good explanation of this sunspot doomsday argument. What are sunspots? The sunlight is evenly colored without flaws. But some photography enthusiasts, when they attach a Baader film to their telephoto cameras to take pictures of the sun, they will occasionally find dirt on the sun. These small freckles are sunspots. Essentially, they are very large, cold areas, each one larger than the Earth. The key lies in the increase and decrease of these cold freckles, which always follows a rule. Scientists record the number and position of sunspots and find that they are like a row of butterflies. These butterflies cycle every 11.1 years on average, with the shortest being 9 years and the longest being 14 years. If calculated from 1755, humans have now recorded the 25th cycle. Whenever these butterflies fan their wings, that is when the number peaks, meaning the sunspot cycle maximum is here. At this point, solar electromagnetic activity reaches its peak and solar storms are raring to go. Then what are solar storms? It's when a place suddenly lights up, a flare appears like a bullet being fired. The muzzle will flash first, then high-energy particles will spray out wildly. This takes just 8 minutes to reach Earth, but only solar probes can observe it, like the advanced Tianjin astronomical telescope launched in 2022. Some people ask, am I going to be shot to death? Don't worry, as long as you are not lying outside the space station to fix that solar panel, you'll be fine. What's really threatening is that after the muzzle flash, the bullets that fire out at 1,000 kilograms per second, tens of billions of tons of coronal material is ejected, slap, a large mass of high-temperature plasma is smashed out. You get it? This stuff, if you stand on the sun to catch it, it's like science's ultimate superatomic bomb. I'm afraid even Superman can't withstand it. But luckily, the Earth is far away and small, so only a little bit gets to the magnetosphere, and that's enough to protect us, creating auroras. Of course, if the impact is too hard, the magnetosphere will also be smashed crooked, causing geomagnetic storms. Everyone knows that when wires cut magnetic field lines, induced currents are generated. So when the Earth's magnetic field changes, induced geomagnetic currents will also be generated in our power grids, which can also paralyze them. Because of this, there was speculation on the network a few months ago that this wave of solar activity may pull the plug on humans at any time, blacking out power grids. So is it really a conspiracy theory? Supporters say that solar storms have indeed dealt devastating blows to humans in the past. For example, in 1859, the British astronomer Carrington saw a dark shadow in the solar telescope that flashed for 5 minutes. Less than a day later, the solar storm hit the Earth. People all over the world came out to see the aurora. The entire telegraph system was paralyzed. Some telegraph operators got electric shocks, while others lost electricity and chatted for 2 more minutes. Over another century later, in March 1989, just over a minute after the solar storm hit Earth, Quebec, Canada had a blackout, leaving over 6 million people without power for 9 hours. The high-voltage transformer of a nuclear power plant in New Jersey, USA, was damaged. Local residents were scared to death, thinking that nuclear war had broken out. The most recent major solar storm was on Halloween 2003. 50,000 people lost power in Sweden. Global communications revenue interference. Large-scale flight suspension and delay around the Arctic Circle. All satellite phones did not work. Space probes malfunctioned. In summary, it is true that solar storms affect humans. It is also true that 2024 may be the maximum of this round of sunspot activity cycles. Then on what basis do you say this is a conspiracy theory? Besides, the 24th sunspot cycle that ended in 2019 was the weakest on record. How can it not mean that the sun has gathered momentum and is ready to make a big move? Here I specifically looked up 2 kinds of predictions from the scientific community. One is from NASA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and a forecast team of international space environment experts. They represent mainstream science. They believe the 25th solar cycle will be as calm as the last. They estimate that July 2025 will be the maximum of this cycle. The average number of sunspots in July will be only 115, at most, one less than the weakest 24th cycle record of 116. It will be even weaker. Then there is a non-mainstream view predicted by the team led by the Deputy Director of the National Center for Atmospheric Research, an American solar physicist. They say the 25th butterfly will be the strongest on record, with sunspots peaking at twice as many as mainstream forecasts. So, whose prediction is more accurate? Let's look at the initial results. For example, in June 2023, the monthly average sunspot number was over 160. In fact, if you have time to go to the Royal Observatory of Belgium to download sunspot data, you will find that in 2023 there have been several occurrences of over 200 sunspots, far exceeding mainstream expectations. Also, just as 2024 kicked off, we observed the largest X5.0 solar flare since 2017 on the Sun. Emergency R3 solar storm warnings were quickly issued. It is estimated that half of the Earth hit by the sunlight will experience unstable and possibly 1-hour interruption of high-frequency radio signals. So if things continue to progress in this direction, the Sun is going to mess with Earth. Then we have reason to believe that 2024 will be the most exciting year. So will the legendary Internet Doomsday really happen? The term Internet Doomsday was first coined by a University of California computer science professor in a predictive paper. The paper has not even been officially published. The Internet Doomsday it mentions is only discussing what to do when solar storms come, not saying that all humans will lose electricity and internet. When the professor learned later that his views spread like wildfire online, he was also anxious, slapping his thighs and wondering why he chose that name. As for why there won't be blackouts, the most direct example is 1989, when geomagnetically induced currents in Quebec, Canada, burned out transformers, causing 9-hour blackout. After that, power grids around the world have been improved and contingency plans developed, such as series capacitors and protective relays. As for internet outages, that's even more impossible. Today, the global internet relies on undersea fiber optic cables for connection. Optical cables transmit optical signals that magnetic fields can't induce currents from, no matter how they cut. The only potential impact is on optical signal repeaters that follow the cables to amplify optical signals. But a Google team went to do special tests and found that even the strongest Carrington solar storm could not damage these devices. So folks, if you see news about Internet Doomsday online, just take it as a joke. Don't take it seriously.